Albums are beautiful pieces of art composed by bands and artists to share their creativity and ideas to the world. I love albums as you can listen to an artist's way of ordering each note, and they show how every song corresponds to one another. So, in this video, I'm going to share my top 10 albums of all time. I did have a few rules for myself in making this list, and they were that in order to be my favourite albums, I had to have them on CD, and that I would need to listen to them over 5 times. I tried to make this list not have too many of the same artists on, but there is one band that has 3 albums on this list. I wish I could put more albums on here, but sadly I can only put 10. So stay tuned for the honourable mentions. Remember, this list is my opinion, so if you get angry, make sure you unsubscribe, dislike the video, so you can never see my videos again. Anyway, enjoy the video. Now, call me a fake music fan, but Linkin Park is one of the only new metal bands I enjoy. Personally, I prefer heavy metal and thrash metal, but Linkin Park continues to amaze me from Hybrid Theory to their most recent release. I knew in the end from a very young age, and one day I was scrolling on Spotify and decided to check the full album out, and I was amazed. Paper Cuts and One Step Closer are just fantastic songs. They hold so much energy. I can never complain whenever a song from this album comes on shuffle on one of my playlists. You do it to yourself, you do, and that's why I love this album so much. Just was basically the song that made me fall in love with Radiohead, followed by Street Spirit, Fade Out. Then I got into songs like High and Dry. Looking back on it now, they are still amazing songs. I think what I enjoy most about this album is how each song is extremely different from one another, yet they all fit together on this album perfectly. Now, choosing a favourite song from this album is really hard, but I think I'll have to go with Fake Plastic Trees, since the softer songs feel more personal. Nice Dream and Bulletproof also do the same thing, and shows that I enjoy the softer tracks. But please don't get the wrong idea, as Bones, Just, My and Lung, and The Bends are just as good. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know Green Day is my favourite band ever. Nimrod is one of the reasons why that is the case. Now obviously, the song that introduced me to this album was Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, which is such a beautiful song. But when I found Hitchin' a Ride, that's when I knew I was a Green Day fan, as the energy the song holds and releases is just incredible. Also, fun fact, I'm listening to Nimrod when writing this script. Anyway, songs like Redundant and Nice Guys Finish Last are just spectacular. My favourite is by far Redundant, as I just feel a special connection to it. King for a Day, Platypus I Hate You, and The Grouch are also songs that make this album perfect. Now, if this isn't considered to be a masterpiece, I don't know what is. No Surprises was my first ever introduction to Radiohead, and even if it is considered to be overrated, I still love it. Fun fact number 2, I have the lyrics of No Surprises on my guitar. Anyway, songs like Exit Music for a Film and Paranoid Android make the album feel perfect just on their own. The song Let Down just makes me question all my life choices, as the song feels like it plays with my soul. In my eyes, Lucky juxtaposes Let Down, and it feels like it just readjusts my soul with a helping hand. The Tourist is such a good closer to the album as well, and I don't think many people give it as much love as it should receive. Master of Puppets! This album practically changed my life, as it added a whole new genre onto my music taste, like I said in my top 10 bands video, link in description. Metallica is one of the reasons I'm half decent on guitar. As soon as I heard Master of Puppets, I wanted to play it, and I'm still trying to master it to this day. See what I did there? Songs like Battery, Damage Inc., The Thing That Should Not Be, and my personal favourite, Welcome Home, Sanitarium, make this album my favourite thrash metal record of all time. This album is by far the height of Foo Fighters' career, as they got nominated for 5 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. My favourite Foo Fighters song ever is on this album, and that is Walk. I remember seeing the music video for the first time, and it just made the song 10 times more enjoyable for me to just get into Foo Fighters. Some other 10 out of 10 tracks on this album, such as Rope, Bridge Burning, and These Days, complete the album. Not to mention Dear Rosemary, White Limo, and Miss the Misery. Did you see the stylish kids in the riot? Up the Bracket is by far my favourite Libertines album, as the youthfulness of Pete Doherty and Carl Barat shines through their genius songwriting and poetry. Vertigo is probably one of my favourite openers for an album ever. The energy in that riff is just unbelievable. Songs like Death on the Stairs, Horror Show and Up the Bracket are perfect and give me a sense of nostalgia for some reason. Songs like Radio America, The Boy Who Looked at Johnny and I Get Along are certainly underrated. Boys in the Band makes this album a 10 out of 10 on its own and it's just such a tune. I'm so happy that I got to see most of the songs live on this album, and if you are interested in watching that concert, there's a link in the description on my video on it. This album is pure perfection. It is my favourite debut album ever. Every band member somehow manages to pour their heart and soul into their instrument, and it's beautiful. For example, the bass in the title track, Is This It?, carries the song into its full potential. The Modern Age, Soma, and Barely Legal savour every second of the legendary... Oh, sorry, my cat just ran across my keyboard. My favourite track is either Someday or Hard to Explain, as Julian Casablancas' vocals are just so emotional. I live in the UK, so I have the version with New York City Cops on, and it doesn't have When It Started. If you didn't know, the reason why New York City Cops isn't on the American one was because of 9/11. Also, for no reason, the album covers are different. Don't wanna be an American idiot. Now, this has only been pushed down to second recently, as I realised, yes, it is such a good album, but compared to the one at the top spot, there isn't a competition. The reason why it is so high up is not only because it's the most infamous album cover with the best songs ever, it's because of how much I love it, and it's the reason why Green Day is my favourite band. My first ever Green Day song I heard was Holiday, and since then I've been hooked. The title track, American Idiot, is packed full of punk energy, and I love every second of it. Jesus of Suburbia is a 9-minute masterpiece with 5 mini songs compacted into one. I personally prefer Homecoming, as it gives the whole band separate singing parts. By far my most favourite song is What's Her Name, which is my favourite album closer of all time. Saint Jimmy is the perfect song to jam out to, and so is She's a Rebel. If I never hear Letterbomb live, then I'll never die happy. The slower tracks like Wake Me Up When September Ends, Give Me Novocaine and Are We The Waiting just complete the album. In case you couldn't tell, I love this album. Before I tell you my top pick, here are some honourable mentions. Currents, In Utero, Nevermind, The Colour and the Shape, Room on Fire, Ride the Lightning, Warning, Insomniac and 21st Century Breakdown. For millions of years, living organisms tried to find or make the most perfect, desirable thing ever, and Radiohead gave it out for free on some random Wednesday in 2007. If you look up perfect in the dictionary, in rainbows comes up. I don't know how else to get my message across. This album is pure perfection. Chicks are falling into place, and all I need was my first taste into this album, and I was hooked. To this day, I can't explain how Weird Fishes makes me feel. All I know is that it's a masterpiece. When I gave this album for a listen for a first time, I felt like Doctor Strange in that one scene. I don't know where Reckoner was my whole life, but I'm so grateful it's here now. And the bass in Nude is absolutely amazing. 15 Step and Body Snatchers are so fun and glorious. House of Cards and Videotape are just mind-boggling. I don't know why this album is so perfect. It just is. Well, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm now starting to upload every Wednesday from now on, so stay tuned for that. Also, Christmas Day and New Year's Day fall on a Wednesday, so expect some special themed videos. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.